welcome to Alpha Book Club. This is the world's best online interactive book club. I'm Rachel Hine, and joining me as always are Hector Navarro from Geek and Sundry, who you know, and Maude Garrett from Geek Bomb, and many other things.
Woo!
Okay. Well, pretend that there's applause because light, polite clapping. Welcome to our Alpha community. We're so excited to get back into the Harry Potter world with all of you guys. And for anyone who joined, who's new, we have a code that we tweeted out for. So if you're trying to get your friends into book club, they can use the code Parseltongue, one word.
Because that's an easy word to write.
Hey, if you want it, you got to work for it.
You got to, I mean, and you get 60 days free Alpha, so you can watch this show, you can catch up on previous episodes, other shows, and you get to play along with us for Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets. So last time...
Well, really quickly though, because we do have new people coming in, because this code is coming out, there's going to be a lot more new people in the chat. Hey, regulars, make them feel super welcome in that chat. And we're going to be doing shout outs as well all episode. If we see a new name that we haven't seen before, guess what? We're going to say hi to you and probably ask you what house you're in and what your
maybe favorite
Patronus
character.
So far.
Is that a good one?
We could do so far.
Okay, up to this point.
Because I think we'll do we'll probably end up doing more Patronus stuff with the third book.
Okay.
And there are all sorts of fun things we want to do because we're going to be reading the whole series this year.
Yeah, I'm so excited.
You know, ranking different things like
Jolly.
Maude was talking about coming up with our own quizzes
I've got
stuff.
so many ideas. So obviously Harry Potter is like my supreme jam, and I'm really upset that I haven't actually converted my Triforce into Deathly Hallows as well using a UV light. No, a UV light. So that in the darkness comes the light.
Yes.
Anyway, sorry. So right. So I'm like freaking nerd right now. A couple of things happening. Jolie the Grey has noticed that Hector and I have swapped seats and is not coping so well because we decided to spice things up a bit.
Change is weird.
Yeah, I'm actually not used to it, and I
know.
You gonna be okay? Are you gonna be okay, Maude?
Yeah. It's great. This is not my side. So, also, I want to.
Do you want to trade? Okay.
Also, I want to give a shout out to Knox. Knox Gunn in the chat. He has been amazing. He gave me a little birthday present, and I want to show you the card. How cool is this? Ready?
Wow, it's just like a picture in the world of Harry Potter.
It's a real dog.
The dog's like, gotta go.
And
there's balls to chase.
And to keep it on theme, has sent me a little City Skyline, Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them notebook, which is so sweet. And I'm going to use it as my daily to-do list guide. So thank you, Knox.
And happy birthday to Maude, whose birthday was
this week.
I'm
16.
Yes.
Crazy.
No, 16.
Times 2. Yeah.
She's very. Yes.
5 years you'll be able to drink the good stuff.
I'm still in high school.
I know, it's crazy.
I'm at
this book
Hogwarts.
must be you're at Hogwarts. And then I just also want to shout out Knox Gunn, who sent me, my birthday is next, the Mirror of Earshead that you can see right here.
Oh, there's a giant wine in the bottle because we're looking in the mirror and the wine is what we see.
Also,
that
we
is
don't
what
want
we
to
desire.
reflect things. But thank you so much. This is so cool.
So cool.
If you're just joining us,
is my mic on? I'm so sorry. Let me check.
No.
Is the mic on?
It's on.
It's on.
Okay.
I checked it.
Girl.
Sorry.
It's on.
It's on.
It's on, girl.
It's on.
If you're just joining us, we have a few catchphrases, inside jokes. Get our wrinkle on.
Which I can't wait to do this weekend and actually get my wrinkle on and go see that movie.
I know. I'm very excited to see it. Oh, and real quick shout out. If you guys go to my Twitter at Rachel Hine, there is a GoFundMe right now that is raising money to send young girls to see A Wrinkle in Time right now. So if you can share or donate, please do because it's super important. And you can also catch up on our episodes where we read that. That was one of our first books ever. That was like our second, more than a year, I feel like. So
what other catchphrases do we have? We have girl.
Girl, you gone.
She gone.
She gone.
Girl. No, cut to Maude.
Yeah, wait.
Girl.
Wait.
She gone, girl. She gone. Girl. That girl gone, girl. She gone. She done gone. It's okay. Gone. All right. Lost. Okay, great.
Damn it, dude. What the hell?
Wrinkle on. There's got to be more, right?
It'll come up naturally.
It'll come up naturally.
1984 sucks.
Yeah. Some are more depressing than others. So.
Oh, hello.
Oh, throwing the book. Yeah. Sometimes we throw books.
Don't throw that
Maude
book.
more than most. but she's not going to throw this
I
one
love this book so
because-
much, guys. Let's talk about this book.
Let's
It's
talk
so
about this book.
good.
I'm
So-
really excited about this but here's the only thing about Chamber of Secrets, and I don't think this is a bad thing. I think that this is a testament to how strong the whole series is. But as I started reading this, and after rewatching the movie, which I've already seen,
Why?
in the same way that the movie, I like the first movie better than the second, but a lot of what the second movie does is better. It's just an issue. It's just an issue of. It just needs to be closer. Is that it? Is that what it was? Yeah. Is this better? Can everybody hear me now? Better? Yeah. Okay.
Such a Hufflepuff.
Well, no. Yeah, I guess. Is that what that even? What does that even mean? That sounds like an insult.
No, not at all.
No, you would never yell. You would never yell.
I don't think that
Okay.
a Hufflepuff is an insult at all. I used
Thank
to when
you.
I was younger. I think they sort of are looked down upon in the books. In the
Bullshit.
some of the,
Yeah, they cop some slack.
they're kind of you
Flack.
know like if Ravenclaws are like kind of cool nerds a little bit,
I don't know, man. They're like
just nerds.
Okay, I'm
Not cool, you guys.
A little bit of an individual.
The Ravenclaws aren't cool though.
Ravenclaws are like the people that went to Harvard or Yale, and
Oh, really?
they're just like, so I'm smart about everything and know all of it, and it's just such
But
a
how
shame
come-
that you don't know
but
as
I
much
feel
as
like-
me.
Hermione's not a Ravenclaw.
Yeah, because that's a Hermione thing, but I think I think here's the difference. There are the negative connotations where, okay, Slytherin evil, Gryffindor kind of basic.
What? When
Sorry.
did that happen?
Yeah.
Is that really
What just happened?
Everyone wants to be Gryffindor, therefore, yeah.
Basic.
I'm mainstream. I'm
Yes.
maud stream. I'm
Yes.
going
You're
up the,
Maud
I'm swimming up a
stream.
maud
You're
stream
swimming
with
up the
one
Mauds. Mhm.
basic paddle.
Yep.
Cool.
Well done. Ravenclaw being sort of stuck up and
Snobby.
And then
and
Hufflepuff
Hufflepuff's
being
just
like-
being kind of losers.
No, stoners.
I didn't think stoners. I thought like
Hufflepuff.
I know,
Oh.
but I mean,
Herbology.
Hufflepuff Puff Pass.
And then
I'm saying these are the negative
Common rooms near the
connotations,
kitchens.
whereas I see the positive ones are the sort of Ravenclaws are smart but creative. Gryffindors are brave and good-hearted.
And really
Slytherins are
good-looking.
yeah, and yes, and very good friends.
no, but more
And
importantly,
yes, more importantly, very good-looking.
And super humble.
Slytherins are clever and
Yes.
and
Gryffindorable.
evil, and Hufflepuffs are kind.
Just made that up
They're
then.
kind
take
and they're
that.
warm, so it's not a
take that.
bad thing. So let us know who you are, what house you're in the chat. Last time we were reading Harry Potter, we read Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's or
Yeah, we did.
Philosopher's Stone.
Sorcerer's Stone.
It's Hector's first time
Yeah.
reading the books. We've all seen the movies. Maud and I have been big fans since we were younger. If you're new, let us know in the chat how you've gotten into Harry Potter, if you've ever read it before. But meanwhile, we're going to catch up on what happened last time. So in the first book, Harry Potter finishes up his first year at the Wizarding School Hogwarts, where he makes friends, finds a new home, and has a brush with Voldemort.
Dun, dun, dun.
Or as Jim Dale says, Voldemort, because I'm listening to it.
Oh, Voldemort. Say it properly. Jim Dale.
Jim Dale.
Says Voldemort.
Harry.
Harry.
He said something
Harry.
that was so funny when I was listening to it today.
His voice is very. I hear it in my head.
he also, so I get made fun of a lot for how I say chocolate.
Oh, I was gonna say Sean.
Why?
Sean.
He says Sean too.
Thank you, Sean.
Sean.
Yeah.
Chocolate. So I say chocolate. And then he's like, Harry went up to the Gryffindor common room where they were all having chocolate. And I was like, yes! Chocolate.
As opposed to saying it how? Which way?
Chocolate.
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 Oh, the way you say things in an American accent
Chocolate.
is so mean to us idiots
It's
that have an
fair.
American accent.
Chocolate.
It's fair. It's fair.
Chocolate. Oh, because I'm sounding so much better, and this is all about me sounding incredible. Chocolate. Chocolate. Sounds like I've stubbed my toe while getting punched in the gut.
Chocolate.
Chocolate.
I mean, you don't have to
There's one
say
for chocolate.
it that
That's
way.
how I say it, especially when I need it. You
Oh
know?
yeah, I
Yeah.
do know that.
Yeah, Hector.
No, I agree. I've been there with the needing chocolate. It's like, ugh. It's like, look, I don't need to have sex, but sometimes I need chocolate. You know what I mean? You guys know what I mean? BCom knows
I
what it's
know
up.
what's up.
BCom knows
I
what's
just
up.
gained a girlfriend.
Yeah.
Soup stoked.
That's so stupid.
That's what a basic Gryffindor would say. So fine.
Soups BFFs.
Guys, this is great so far.
So J.K.
Great.
Rolling.
Rolling. Why
Rolling
is that
bowling.
so hard for me?
Bowling.
Bowling.
Rolling with
J.K.
my
Rowling
homies.
was nervous about finishing this book because she was afraid it would not live up to the hype of the first book, which is super fair.
Yeah.
It was a huge cultural phenomenon across the world, and hadn't yet become a film, but eventually spawned the film series that we all know and love. But it was very well received by fans, and it, if this had failed, we might not get all of the books. I don't know I don't remember. Did we
Yeah.
know how many we were going to get? We didn't, right? We just
Not even. What about
Just
kids?
the fact that there was 7 years of high school.
okay,
Which
so
not
we
even
did.
American kids would have figured that.
Yeah,
We
I don't
would've
know
been
that
I
I was
don't
like,
know.
only 4?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you have
So
4 years? Oh, senior.
We have 4 years of
Yeah.
high school, and then we have
Yeah.
a different thing, middle school, which is
Yeah,
7th
no.
and 8th grade, or some places 6th, 7th, and 8th grade.
Yeah,
Which
junior
is what
high.
Harry went through all
Yeah,
together.
basically, yeah, because it's
Secondary school
11.
is what it's
Secondary
called.
school. So we're just getting into the first section, but if you've read the book before, just keep in mind as we're reading it, if we think this is better than the first book, one of the better sequels, how it compares, because that's a really fun
I want to
kind of
compare
comparison.
it so far right now, right off the bat.
Okay.
In my comparison, and I think this is where I'm going to land, which again is not a bad thing.
But are you
is I
basing this on
think
what you've read in the 6 chapters or the movie that you just saw?
both.
God.
The movie, in terms of what the story is, which, because look at what Chamber of Secrets does as a story
I would like to read it, not
compared
look at
to
it.
right, compared to the first story. And so far the book is doing the same thing, which is the second year. It's not like it's a drastic change.
No.
It's not right. It's adding things to the mythos, certainly. But in fact, so far my only critique towards this book is that J.K. very smartly is adding things in here to explain to first-time readers what happened in the first book
Yes.
and what Harry's journey is up to this point. We have more Dursleys in the beginning because that's how you get to root for Harry. And
Yep.
I almost wish that stuff wasn't in there because I'm like, yeah, I know, let's go. But she very smartly was like, I bet you kids might pick this up, and this might be their first Harry Potter book. Which is an interesting read, is an interesting perspective. It's like, yeah, what happens if this is your first one, but you still kind of get it, and then you go back and read the first one? That happens all the time. Kids grab a weird, number book in a series and then just go for it. I imagine. So that's just like her kind of covering her bases.
No, I don't imagine I know anyone who would start at book 2.
I would if there are kids that are given this book by an older sibling.
No, but that's just
a
me.
relative.
The older sibling.
messed up, but
Yeah.
also
You guys were
start at
so
one.
like, no. like.
But it's like starting a movie series or TV in the middle. But Maud, you've also been reading the Jim Butcher
Dresden Files.
Dresden Files,
Which is literally adult Harry.
Yeah, it is. It's
His name is Harry and he's a wizard.
And and it's contemporary fantasy, hard-boiled detective mystery, but with a wizard. But with those types of series where you have the same character, whether it's in fantasy or sci-fi or even the many murder mysteries that I read, if you have that character that you're following, they all kind of give you to varying degrees.
Same thing happened in Murder on the Orient Express.
Yes.
We are told who Hercule
Poirot.
Poirot is because we might not have read every book up to that point, and that's totally fine. So like, all I was saying was I don't think I will love this book, and I don't love the movie as much as I love the first.
Because you're
ones.
experiencing it all for the first time.
Exactly, and that's just like an unfair, but that's just what happens. But it almost feels like chapter 2 in a 7-chapter series.
Yeah.
Like that's what I'm realizing reading this. I'm going, this really isn't its own book by itself. It's just like part 2 of Harry's story. So
we've just started it, but I will say that that's fair. And I think as you go in the books, the world expands and you learn more about what's actually happening, so it becomes more. But I will also say that even though this book is adapted to the movie very accurately, I never really felt like it got the tone really as much.
What's the tone
for the movie?
Chamber of Secrets for you in the book that didn't translate?
Much scarier, much more intense with the chamber, and like people die. It's scarier if the stakes are higher.
There's giant spiders.
There's much more, and then also Ginny as a character, and kind of all of the stuff that happens later with the diary that I won't get into. Okay. All of that felt, and I'll see how I read because I haven't read this one in a long time. But I remember. Well, because I
pretty much read it every year.
I read them
for 16 years.
I read them up through the movies every year, and every time a new book came out, and then I haven't in the past couple years. So it's been a really long time. But
when did the last movie come out? Like 2011? Was that Deathly Hallows Part 2?
Yeah.
It was 2011?
Yep.
Dang.
yeah,
Yep.
so it's been a while.
Gotta read this comment in the chat. GameWizard001 says, Hector, I read the first 4 books out of order, and as I saw Maud reading this comment, her face was like, what? Just now? Because then they go on to say, middle school didn't have them all at the same time. I was 2, then 4, then 1 and 3, and then in order after that when 5 through 7 came
What an emotional roller coaster that
I
must
bet.
have been.
Damn.
But I've
2,
been that
then
way.
4, then oh my
Yeah.
god.
I've been that way with certain comic books. I'll read like volume 2 of a book and be like, oh, this is great, and then go back and get one. Like, if it's something that you don't know what it is before you go into it. Can you imagine? Do you remember what your life was like before you knew that Harry Potter existed?
I didn't live.
Yeah.
I started reading this 16 years ago.
That's true. So, yeah, that makes sense.
I was like,
yeah. Just out of the womb, just like that.
Lee, you know what to do. You know what to do.
oh no.
It's happening.
Okay.
Well, I have a question for you because you were talking before we started about Easter eggs, and someone in the chat just said, I think it was Lee, lost the number, said that the Chamber of Secrets. For me, reading Chamber of Secrets again might be the biggest payoff, knowing what's coming in Harry's story. So I wanted to know what you've picked up so far.
So there were just jarring moments where, having known the series so well, there's 3 main ones that happen in these 6 chapters. One of them is a bit of an indicator on what to expect for the rest of the book, but then 2 others indicate, I think, foreshadowing what's happening in book 6. So, spoilers if you don't want to know that, just mute me for like 17 seconds.
Ooh,
but the first thing that you hear when you're when they're going into the car, all the Weasleys pack into the car to go off to platform 9 3/4. Fred forgets something, George forgets something, and then when they're like halfway down,
Ginny forgets her diary.
diary.
Yeah.
So this is this near miss thing where this is the first time you hear that she has a diary. And you have no idea how she's gotten this diary. You think it might be a personal diary, but it's so important that she couldn't be like, oh, well, forget it. They had to turn the car around. I thought that was kind of cool.
Yeah.
But it's also like not.
true.
JK, I think, specifically picked that example, that item, because it also is just a girl in her diary, which me as a reader, I'm like, oh, that's no big deal.
Completely
So
dismissive.
that's a really
so
smart
you do not think about it.
But
that's why it's good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Another
It
throwaway.
was like, hey,
Another
pay
throwaway
attention
like
to this
that.
diary.
When Harry is in Diagonally.
Diagonally.
Diagonally. That's it.
Diagonally. With his little like voice cracking. God, that movie is hilarious, you guys. Okay, first of all, Ron, who's the actor that plays Ron again? Rupert Grint, going through puberty in the Chamber of Secrets, does things with his voice that like an adult voice actor cannot replicate.
It's like 2 notes at once.
Like, I was watching it with my girlfriend Abby, and Abby was saying like, there are grown men and women, and especially a lot of women, that do voiceover work, because she's a voiceover actor, as like young boy characters, and that's something you can just not. That's like, and it's
I
such
can only do it when I get a cold.
Yes.
Yeah.
She was like, if like a grown woman were to try to do that, she'd need to be sick and be getting better, and then be able to replicate it. Like, can we?
Like Phoebe, when Phoebe on Friends gets sick.
She get too sick. Smelly cat got too sexy.
Yeah.
Sexy sick.
Must stick his shoes. Okay.
It's so entertaining to watch Rupert Grint in Chamber of Secrets. Like, and
He's
I
really
feel like
into his own as a comedic actor though,
Yes.
which is a lot of fun, and it's so needed next to Daniel Radcliffe.
Yeah, agreed. And there was one more.
So another one where he's in Bergen and Blotz. Bergen and Borgen and Blotz.
Flourish and no, you're talking about in Diagon Alley.
No,
It's,
in Nocturne Alley. So he goes
Alley.
into Nocturne Alley. He sees Malfoy.
Flourish and Blotz.
No, it's Borgin and.
It's right. That's the chapter
That's
right
what the
there.
chapter's called. Flourish and Blotz is
Flourish
the
and
name.
Blotz.
Yeah, that's the name of the
but we're
bookstore.
talking
That's the
about
bookstore.
a different.
No, when he goes into Nocturne Alley and
Yeah.
he's seeing Papa and
looking
Kitty
it up.
Malfoy. Borgen and Burke.
Thank you.
Great. So
Couldn't
he's in
find
Borgen
it.
and Burke.
All right, how can you blame us, JK? You're using a lot of crazy, nonsensical names.
It's
That's
a
tough to keep track of.
magical world. You appreciate
Tough to
this
keep track of.
magical
Okay.
world.
Thank you. So
Okay.
he's in Borgen and Burke.
Sorry.
It's fair. That's fair.
And Malfoy's not, Kid Malfoy's not interested, Draco, not interested in all what's happening with Lucius at the moment. Didn't like Lucius. I much prefer Jason Isaac as Lucius,
God, he's
where he just
amazing.
protrudes his bottom chin and he barely
he's so
articulates.
He's
what
perfect.
saying. He's
I
amazing.
love Jason Isaacs.
Me
He's
too.
such a good
Burks.
bad guy.
Look at everybody in the chat. Borgen and
Everyone.
Burks. Borgen and Burks. Borgen and Burks. Borgen and
Well,
Burks.
20 points to Smurf and Porf for everyone there. So basically, Malfoy's looking around and Harry's looking around as well. And super throwaway line, he happens to see a gem necklace, which is supposed to be cursed. And it's killed 19 muggles already, 19 muggle owners. So it's like this thing where they're trying to just paint what this
Scary,
deathly antique kind of antique shop is all about.
Deathly.
Helen. But yeah, we know that this is the jewelry that nearly kills Katie Bell in book 6 because it's a cursed item.
I have a question.
And it's like, do not touch.
Speaking of like references and first appearances of mentions of things, I think, correct me if I'm wrong, is in Chamber of Secrets the movie, the first time in the movie series, and I guess later in the book, because maybe we haven't gotten to it yet, we hear Azkaban, the mention of Azkaban, or is that mentioned in the first book and or movie?
No.
It's
Azkaban
mentioned
prison.
in the first book, I believe, when they say something about either Sirius or...
Like,
Was Sirius brought up in the first book?
He's brought up
think he
in
might
the
have
very
been.
intro when they're dropping off Harry for a life of misery at the Dursleys, and they're like, "Bye, good luck."
And I think they said Sirius
Sirius is back,
is at Azkaban or
Because of the
something.
motorbike. Right.
yeah,
Okay.
something there.
Yeah, that's crazy.
it's
T-Boy
always
says,
fun.
"Don't forget the hand of glory" in there as well. Yeah.
That hand, the zombie hand,
Yep.
that crunches him. Yeah.
Yeah, and the fact that they're using all of these artifacts in there. And then the last one, this is the second book and second time it's mentioned where it is indicated that Snape can read minds. So they mentioned it in the first book, and then
yeah,
Harry
you're
this
right.
time says, like, you know, he goes, you know, where did the car go? And Harry goes, you know, I just get this feeling that he can read minds, but then he pulls out the Daily Prophet and it's there, but
Yeah.
it's indicated.
But it could just
But
be.
there's the
Oculomancy.
It's
So
played
he
as
actually
if
can read minds.
Yeah.
it's played as if it's kids, you know, just being under the thumb of an oppressive adult. That's what it's played like. Oh, kids, they always exaggerate. Like, it's like my principal has eyes in the back of their head, that kind of thing.
Yeah. And then,
But he actually can, and most of them have. There are so many abilities. What I love about the series and this book so far is that we do get more world building with Nocturne Alley, with going to the Weasley's house.
That's the best bit of
I
world
know.
building, I think.
I love it.
It was lovely. It was great.
But have you noticed in the book, it was saying that it was like a like a den, a pigsty thing, but built like a stone wall. But in
Okay.
the movies, it's all wooden.
Yeah.
So things like that. It's worth reading the book to build your mind.
Yes, I agree. And I also think, you know, even though we're being reintroduced to Harry, we also get to see something that's interesting that some people might experience when they come home from going to college for the first time, or finding their
I'm not old enough to go to college yet.
people, or you'll
sorry.
get there.
Thanks. Yeah.
Youth is wasted on the young, let me just tell you. Like, appreciate it now. That was me. After I got my wisdom teeth, I was going around the office to everyone going, how old are you? Do you have your wisdom teeth out? Get them out now.
Yes,
don't
Mama
wait until you're
Hein.
29.
Of course, Mama Hein.
No. But going home after you've been away, or after you've removed yourself, or not even home, if you've removed yourself from a toxic situation and you have to go back, that can be really difficult, you know, whether it's, coming home from college, or seeing someone that you broke up with, or going back to a place that you used to live and everything being different. And the worst part is Harry thinks that everyone has forgotten him. He's found his people, he's found this place, and then he's like, what the, like, where, my
I'm
friends
back in
aren't even,
isolation.
and they don't even care.
Yeah.
I guess my friendships weren't that important. I guess this, and it's so sad because you learn that they are, and friggin' Dobby.
That's why I hate
just,
Dobby.
Yeah.
I hate Dobby forever. For
Oh,
always.
same.
I always hate
same.
him.
I
Thank
never
you.
liked him.
Thank
That's
you.
why it's like the whole Hermione with the spew. I was like, oh, shut up.
It's just
Dobby, drop kick.
So smart of JK to create these circumstances to have Harry think he's. You talking about drop kicking Dobby? Yeah, dude, drop kick him all day. He's the worst. I wanted Harry to put his hands on him more, like in the movie and in the book. When he's just like,
trying
Harry
to
was trying to
help.
calm him down. I'm like, you grab that motherfucker and you put your hands around his mouth. He is making too much noise.
Thank you.
Just wants to help.
Oh.
No, but he's not. Harry's trying his life, and his life is like literally so shitty anyway. He's making it even worse.
It was bad. But
he
JK,
doesn't get it.
he doesn't, and that's why you gotta.
He's a poor, enslaved house elf, y'all.
Oh man,
He's a little
up.
shit.
Dobby's story is so great later though. But
I
in this
know.
beginning
I
part,
felt nothing. I felt nothing.
Felt nothing. All I'm talking about is in the part later, the way that Harry frees him is phenomenal.
Yes, I agree.
And I hope nobody's watching this with like, I've never read or seen Harry Potter. What are you talking about? This Dobby is way cuter than the movie Dobby.
Oh yeah, movie Dobby is.
Movie Dobby is horrifying.
Maybe Dobby looks like a dog that I know, Buddy.
Movie Dobby?
Yeah.
That's great.
I don't love Book Dobby's eyes.
Okay. Like
They're
too
like
cute?
a doll.
Yeah.
I pictured
creepy doll.
It says he was like a bat. So I always had this impersonation and this picture in my
Bartok?
head of like, what's Bartok? Who's Bartok?
Oh, lady,
Anastasia?
it's from the movie Anastasia,
Exactly,
played by Hank
exactly,
Azaria.
yes.
And I give him a ha and a hi-ya.
Yeah, hi.
So this is what
Yeah.
happens.
And I'd kick her, sir.
So this is what happens when you don't have the movies to go on and your mind is like piecing it together from what you get. Bat-like ears, big bright eyes. It's exactly what I pictured Dobby to be like.
Bartok. That's pretty. I mean, that's good.
So much better. I wouldn't drop kick that.
Yeah, I know. Super cute.
Oh, the movie one? Yeah. The movie one is
Ugly
gross,
and-
where you're just
yeah.
like, no, don't touch
And
me.
still pretty good special effects that hold up from
Yeah.
since like 2004. Like
That's a good point.
As far as like a CG creature, like him and Gollum from those first Lord of the Rings movies still hold up pretty well. So good job.
Game
yeah.
Wizard 001 says Dobby had the best of intentions. Don't shit on him too hard. Plus, what he gets to do by the end of the book movie is awesome.
Yeah.
Agreed.
That's true, 100%.
I would agree with that. But anyway, just back to JK, just
Yeah.
setting up those circumstances. It's so smart because if there was a kid reading this for the first time, as opposed to having read the first book, they see Harry in an oppressive environment still. After the triumph of the end of the first book, when he's
Yeah.
like, I get to go home and mess with Dudley all summer. No. We're back to square one where he's threatening him with magic, kind of, which is great, but still oppressed,
taken away from him,
locked
though.
up. And the book did a great thing. And I think the movie was just a shortcut where they're like, Harry's, all of his stuff is going to be under the cupboard under the stairs. It's locked in there. He can't get to his magical stuff. And we're going to cut him off from Hermione and Ron so that he's back in this place where he has this longing to get to Hogwarts. And J.K. did all of that while making it make sense for the story.
Yep.
Where Dobby
And
shows
moving
up.
forward, yeah.
Moving forward, Dobby shows up and he was like, don't go to Hogwarts this year. There's evil plots against you. That's so smart. Great.
And T. Boyce pointed out in the comments too that house elves are magically restrained from disobeying their.
Yeah, it's pretty warped.
It's really fucked up. And so what he's trying to find any way that he can to get a loophole around this to help him. And so his loopholes are bad, but there's no other way for him. You can't be like, yo, this is what's happening.
Trust me, that's fine.
Help
I know.
me help you.
All right.
Don't
Because I'm
drop
getting
kick
chewed
him.
out in chat. I will say, give me Dobby over Umbridge any day.
Sure. Umbridge is like a spawn of Satan. Yeah.
If I
Yeah.
Micodemus says, is it like Micodemus in The Rats of Nim? We're just referencing all my favorite childhood movies. He had nothing and was constantly abused, yet he gave all of himself into helping others. I
great.
agree with that. And then
So
the
was
next
Logan.
section, we get kind of into the.
So was Logan.
Logan
Yep. Wolverine.
was beaten up and then still gave everything to. Yeah. Logan was always a bit of a dick, but yes, you're right. Logan
I see what
and
you're
Dobby, they're like peas in a pod.
Thank you. Okay, that helps me.
Go on, Rachel.
Later, we get to kind of see the divide between the magical and the Muggle world with the Weasleys and Arthur Weasley's job at the Ministry of Magic, which is another. You get kind of kernels of what that is, and it becomes obviously bigger in later books. But did you like the Weasleys getting into their world? Because I remember as a kid, I had friends' houses where that I could just get away to, where it was just like, oh, I just love them so much, and hanging out there was so much fun, and getting to see him experience that, where Ron is embarrassed because they don't have a lot of money and they're all kind of crammed in there, and to Harry, he's like, this is wonderful. I love it so much.
Oh, that was great. It was such a relatable part of the story. I love that aspect of world building where we get to meet Ron's dad, because we didn't meet him in the first book. We only met his mom really briefly, and she was real sweet. And then we don't get it in the movie, but we even get Hermione's parents in this book, in this section, and they don't really say anything, but they're there.
Yeah.
They're these Muggles that are out of their element. But I think it's super smart because it's great. It's a great contrast for Harry's world. It's also great entry level stuff for like readers to be like, oh, this is what like a wizard home and family and house is like. And it's relatable to the point where you're thinking back to your childhood and you're like, I had friends like that. I know that I had friends' houses that were like, it was stressful. It may have been stressful for them and their family and their parents because their house was like a pigsty or whatever. But I was always like, I don't live here. I can just come and hang out. And like, no, it's fine. Everything's cool. Like, there's crap everywhere. It's fine. Because I didn't live there. I always have to go home or whatever. And that's what it did remind me of, is like those friends' houses that I could go and basically have, hang out, have a good time, party, play video games or whatever. Just do like little kid stuff and then. And
Peace. What I really liked about that, though, was that you just saw how different the Wizarding world is and how separate and just so they do not cross over at all, really, to the
weird.
the Muggle world. Things like I've never seen Muggle money before. How does power sockets work? How does the postal service work? And it's like, well, instead of a bird taking it around, it's a man. Like, you know, that kind of stuff. But it's like blowing this person's mind, even though he's what, in his 40s, 50s?
Yeah, he's like a grown
He's lived
adult.
a whole life, and he's in a Muggle concentrated part of the magical universe. Like, he literally focuses on Muggles, and yet he still doesn't know simple things. So it's like, wow, these are just two separate worlds living under the same, you know,
it's almost
sky.
like a time travel thing where because wizards are so advanced, like when Fred and George pick the lock because they can't use magic because they're still underage, pick the lock at Harry's house. And they're like, yeah, you know, most wizards don't bother learning this kind of trick because it's so slow.
Yeah.
But we find it comes in handy. And it's like if you were in, you know, I just think of like Back to the Future Part 3 era for some reason.
You mean the Old West?
Yes, the Old West.
Okay.
But I pictured Back to the Future Part 3 in my head. And just how we would not know necessarily how to do the things that
Ride
you would need to do to get
cars.
around because, so it's more advanced. And why would you learn that if you didn't need to? If
That
I
makes
could do
sense.
everything with magic, you know.
Yeah,
good-
and
that's a
like
good way
you
to-
know, not knowing what a car is because you can apparate. Like, I understand that.
Or like you know what it is, but you're like, but
How?
Yeah.
Yeah.
How does it work?
How does this work? Like,
I still think
science,
that it's
what is it?
interesting. I don't know if the series or the world ever goes to this place, but the idea that the wizards live in such a bubble, is that a good or a bad thing?
Well, you know what? It prompted a thought in my mind. How does Hermione beat everyone? And how does Ron? How is Ron just as stumped as Harry? But Ron has only been living and breathing in a magical world. So he's seen magic. He's been around magic. He only knows Quidditch. Like all of these sorts of things. He's got the absolute understanding of it. And yet when it's push comes to shove for him to do it, he's clueless.
Yeah.
And he's on the same level
reference,
as Hermione, who up until about, you know, a year ago, she didn't even know magic existed. And the same with Harry, you know.
But I think that's like academia in general too. There are some people who are
I call bullshit.
really thrive in it, and some people who it never clicks for them, but they're good at something else, or the way that it's taught. I think Ron also that's not his personality.
What was he doing for 11 years?
Hanging out, being a kid,
Watching,
running around that house,
watching magic happen.
What were they?
Great.
I know, but not how to, you know, turn a wine glass into a cat.
If you saw someone brush their teeth, do you reckon you could pick up a toothbrush and figure it out pretty quickly?
That's not I don't feel like that's the same thing.
This is what I think about a
But
lot.
I really do, like, if you, do we have one? Like, I feel like
Nah, if I see it 3 times,
you
I
can
can do
see
it.
someone play even chopsticks, but you
Yeah.
have to practice and learn
Yeah.
from someone to learn it.
I also like the part in Chamber of Secrets, the movie. I don't know if this happens in the book later. At one point, a teacher cancels exams, and everybody cheers, and Hermione's like, "What? No, she's just this little nerd.
Yeah.
She's just this little
She
person
loves
who."
to learn.
And I don't know. I think
And
you
be
might be right, Maude, that it's kind of bullshit compared to the rules of the world. But I don't know if J.K. Rowling is doing this on purpose. But it could be that she's saying that it doesn't matter what house you come from in the real world. Some people will excel in certain, you know, academic situations, and others won't, even if their house is full of.
Well, it's also hard
You know,
work. She works at it. He doesn't really care.
She busts her ass, and maybe he doesn't care because it is so normal to him.
Yeah.
Maybe? I don't know. So maybe J.K. saying, kind of like Ratatouille, a good cook can come from anywhere. She's
Anyone
saying Hermione,
can cook.
and not anyone can cook. That's not the lesson.
That's true.
It is a good cook can come from
So
anywhere.
remove the Hermione part because she's like
The
the
exception to the
genius.
rule, yeah.
But Harry. So Harry and Ron are basically at the same level.
And you're saying Ron should have some advantages because he knows
he should
the
kind
world.
of figure it out. He should get it. He'd be like, oh my gosh, I've seen this my whole life.
True. Well,
I feel
Like
I
he's
mean-
got
some
Chudley
people-
Cannon's posters all over his room, and he knows about Quidditch back to front, and yet he's Harry.
That's
like,
why he ends up jealous of Harry as well, because I think he feels
What?
like.
Ends up jealous? Oh man,
I'm
this
sorry.
is going to be an emotional roller coaster.
Wait,
No, I
what?
think I knew that. I just forgot about it.
Oh, I didn't know if you were joking or not.
But I feel like the things become ultimately contentious between friends and people as they're growing up as well, because
Yeah.
it is he doesn't seem to be as gifted at some of these things, and he's not really putting in the work. So I think actually, and we start to see some of that in this book, the sort of classism in the wizarding world.
Yeah. There's
a lot of it.
And
Yeah.
there's so
I don't
much,
like it.
especially
Not a
it's
fan.
Purebloods.
it's upsetting.
Yeah.
No, and it's really fucked up. And I think showing that that is wrong. Voldemort and the Malfoys' point of view is wrong.
Yeah.
Hard work and skill and ability,
being capable,
can come from anywhere, and everyone has to bust their ass.
Guys, what happens?
Some more than others. Like they have all of these advantages, and yet Hermione's leaving them in the dust.
What year does this story take place in?
This is like 98, 99 probably.
Is it? It says text copyright 1998 by J.K. Rowling.
Yeah, so I
was
think the
book
first
one
one
in
was
97.
I think so. I think it was 97 because like by.
I think they take place before, because isn't Harry technically born in like 1980?
Oh yeah,
Oh.
that's true. So it's like 91.
So like 91, 92, 93.
Yeah, 91. So this is 1992.
So what happens in the wizarding world post 1997? What happens? What is the wizarding world in 2018? Has anybody like because how is it? How old is Harry right now? Isn't he like 34? If he was born in 1980, 38. Okay.
Papa has.
So Papa has. So what's Harry doing at age 38?
He's an aura.
What is that?
Ah!
Okay, we'll just have to wait.
This is the difference.
Just wait a few months, Maud. I'll learn.
What's
I guess.
that, Moody?
I don't know.
Okay. Oh my God, I can't. Yeah, we are
don't
reading
remember.
these books.
Okay.
Reading them.
Okay, great.
I
I
want
just my question
Magical
was
law enforcement.
magical law enforcement. Oh, that's perfect. My question was, does the Wizarding World at some point do away with the classism that's in the world? Does Harry, anybody else go? You know what? Let's reveal ourselves to the world of Muggles. Would that be crazy?
No,
Does
it's
that-
not crazy, and
Okay.
I think that there is a lot that is still said in these books about those
About
issues.
that? Yeah.
That is what I will say.
I just
And
want
that
to see
is
the.
all
I
I
just
will
want to
say.
see the world torn down. I want to see them. I want to see them like again. I basically want a character like Luke Skywalker to be like the Jedi must end. I want somebody in the Wizarding World to be like we've
No
been
more
doing it
magic.
wrong. We've been doing it wrong. Magic must end. Not magic must end, but like, you know,
Finding
like
a way to.
You know what squibs are?
Did we get to that?
fake bullet holes.
Did we get to that? I don't think we've gotten to that yet.
Well, it would have been mentioned when they just really.
I think it's later. I think it's later.
It's not even.
It's later.
Stop reading ahead, Maud.
I didn't. I just know it back to front.
Okay, well,
Um,
yeah.
Is all.
So,
What's a bazaar?
another plot point. Another plot point is,
Found in
and
the
this
stomach of a
upset me
goat.
when I read it, the denoming.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Why?
It's messed up because those little creatures were saying words.
Yeah.
Like that's
pests.
fucked up, guys.
They're
There's
pests.
Yeah, but again,
It's like
mixed
gophers. It's like having
metaphors in
gophers
this
in the
book.
garden.
there's a lot of mixed
There's
metaphors.
mixed
in the world of
metaphors.
Wiz-
It's-
of
it
Just
Wizarding
reminds
because
World.
me
it's humanoid and it said
Zootopia.
get off and that sounded like
Yeah.
it was a vocabulary and you're like, oh
Yeah.
no, they can actually speak words, we shouldn't harm them. It's like having a gopher problem. It's like
But the gophers
it's
aren't going
Matos-
like,
They're not
don't
sentient.
kill me. No, leave me alone. If a gopher did that, I'd be like, this is amazing. This is like Ratatouille. Like,
Yeah.
you'll be my best friend.
But if you're like, please
magic.
don't dig up my garden,
Yeah.
you're like, well, that's what we have to do. You're like, oh, now we have a problem. How are we going to
But,
solve
like,
this? And they're like, just kill me. You're
Throw
like,
them?
all right.
No, and
That's
like
awful.
no, and it reminds. Well, it does remind me of in Labyrinth
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
when the fairies are flying around and Hoggle is like spraying them with a poison, and she's like, "Oh, why would you do that?" And then the fairy bites her, and they're pests.
Yeah.
But they're still little. It's still.
So here's a fun fact. I think it's
me.
in the 30s, the 20s or the 30s in Australia. Myxomatosis was a really bad disease that was being spread via rabbits, and rabbits were officially a pest in Australia. And there was like a mass culling of cutesy little rabbits. It's just humans.
Yep.
I know, but it just
Sucks.
feels weird in the magical
It's like-
world.
it's
That
like
there's
find
gnomes
another
and there's
solve.
house elves, and everyone.
Yeah.
People are accepting of some behaviors and not others. Oh, Game Wizard just said the lot. Yeah. And so it feels a little bit like we were saying mixed metaphors, where it's like, what are we trying to say here?
The difference between mixed
Do
metaphors
we
and
have
something.
the same point?
Yeah, in something like Harry Potter versus like Zootopia, I give Zootopia all the passes because it's not people, it's not humans.
Yeah, but there
So-
are some connotations in that by
Sure.
the end where I was like, I don't know if that's what you.
If that
wanna
bunny had myxomatosis, like, sorry, Judy, she's got to go. Spreading disease, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, thankfully that's probably not happening in the world of Zootopia. But Zootopia I give a pass because to me they are taking a lot of complex ideas and trying to distill it for kids. But in the world of Harry Potter, I'm like, you guys are already talking about classism, and you're already talking about how certain characters are bad and evil for echoing sentiments of like real world Nazis or things that human beings have experienced. And you're full of humans, and and you're full of capable adults and people making good decisions and heroes. Find a way to get rid of these gnomes. It's not like for laughs, like right? It's like, hey man, use magic to like talk to, like communicate, reach out,
or just like Wingardium Leviosa that shit.
Yeah, something.
But they're not real.
And are you saying really?
But neither.
You're saying that Harry Potter isn't real. You're saying that these characters aren't real.
So I feel nothing for Dobby because
Harry.
What about Harry?
He's not real.
He could be.
What about Fred?
No, he's not.
I fucking love Fred.
He's not real. He's not real.
Technically.
What about Dumbledore?
So the gnomes, I thought it was a funny take. What it really was when you go and not be so PC, because I'm Australian, I did not grow up in a PC culture remotely injected with good old assholeness.
I don't think
and
that
what it is, it's showing it's bringing Harry into the world that he knew, into the world that is. And so what it is, it's like, oh, gnomes, I know what gnomes are. And he goes, yeah, you think they're like little tiny Santa Clauses. It's like, no, this is different here. It looks like a little potato. He's like, oh, yeah, and it's like, foing. It's completely different. And all that's saying is, this is nothing like the world you know.
And that's why Harry should be the character, 38-year-old Harry, to go like, you know what? Hey, Wizarding World, let's treat gnomes different. I have a solution.
There is... Hold on.
All right.
Hold your thestrals.
Okay. We'll do.
I lost 10 points.
I should get points for that one. Ron, oh yeah, good point. Cat Eyes Jimmy says Ron had never had a wand before he started school, and also you have to learn to channel your magic through the wands. In Sorcerer's Stone, they say it's more than saying words, so that's a good point.
Okay,
I forgot that.
I like that, Cat's Eye Jimmy.
So we also have the flying car, which is super fun. With this like, I like that you kind of Arthur. I love that Arthur, and I love the Weasleys. I love Molly, and I love Arthur. So much in the movies. They do a really great job as well.
I still want to cuddle them.
Really
know. Yeah, you just feel like you can.
They're like everyone's mum and dad.
It's
really.
good to see you, dear.
Or like the everyday mum and dad.
They're like the sweet. Yeah, they're like the sweet, good-hearted parents, and but I love that Arthur is like working in the Ministry of Magic, actually supposed to make sure that people aren't playing around with Muggle stuff, and he has this like magical car that he's enchanted, and all of this little workshop that he would actually get in trouble
had he not written the law himself and applied the loopholes to the situation.
It's corruption, basically. It's government corruption. But I really,
cool,
but in a fun, curious way, where it's not for evil. It's because he likes to understand these things, take them apart, put them back together.
A nice summary of that sentiment was in the movie. The character goes, Harry, what exactly is the point of a rubber ducky? It's like a good summary of like that whole character, and like this whole, like it's not malicious, you know.
Not in the book, though.
He's not like, what's the point of like a gun? He's like, what's the point of a rubber ducky? Which is just a very like, oh yeah, that's a weird, funny human thing.
It's in the bath.
By the way, we are being awarded points in the chat. I've lost quite a few of my peers, which is totally fine. But can you guys go back through the chat and actually tally and keep tabs on the point system? So it's
House, Maud, Rachel, Hector, and Amy for when she comes in. She has some points as well.
So we can actually keep tabs on the point system.
And I'm in the Hufflepuff house. You're in Ravenclaw. You're in Gryffindor. And is Amy Slytherin? Is that what we're doing?
Well, she was Ravenclaw too. I get Slytherin and Ravenclaw, but I would rather be Ravenclaw.
Of course, you're going to be Ravenclaw.
Yeah.
There's no points awarded to Slytherin.
Or we could just be the House Hector, the House of Rachel, the House of Maud.
Well, because we were also.
Oh, did I tell them my idea?
Yeah, I think we should do it.
Okay, so my idea is that if we do have Maud House, Rachel House, Hector House, because we are so unique and different in our own ways, come the last week of this book that we're covering, the last week of our month, we should do our own sorting quiz.
Ooh,
And we put forward 10 questions with 3 answers. What would Hector do? What would Rachel do? What would Maud do? And everyone takes the test, and you get sorted into what house you would be.
Oh, I got a good one. Favorite Ninja Turtle?
I'm torn between Leo and Mike. I'm going to go Leo.
Really?
Leo leads. I'm a leader.
That's very Gryffindor.
Do I lead or do I party? Lead.
Okay. Favorite Ninja Turtle?
Michelangelo.
Michelangelo? Party dude.
Yeah.
Mine, when I was a kid, was Mikey, but it's now Leonardo.
Fight you. Well, that's what House Maud would say. It can only be one.
Okay.
Interesting.
All right, interesting. I like that crossover in there. That's a good one. Okay.
So,
hold on, DeMarco Draw says I can get 20 points if I explain the different types of columns. Yes, let's go. Doric column was the first of the Grecian columns. It's just basically a block. Then you go Ionic, which is rampant, and then Corinthian has the palmettes and it's all floral. So they're my 20 points. Boom, that's how it's done.
wait, I don't have a chance to get points.
Yeah, we didn't have a chance. Marble columns are made of marble, and they're beautiful. Marble columns. Take a look at my marble columns.
Just going with what was in the chat, guys. I'm not making the rules. I'm just playing by them.
People in the chat love Donatello. Donatello.
That would be the chat's
I've seen
house.
like 5
Donnie.
He had a
Donatellos.
stick.
Whoa.
Whoa.
Wow, that was not a very Leonardo thing to say. You
What was
dissing
it?
your own brother?
That was a Raphael thing.
It totally was. Yeah.
So
That's like funny. I'm Slytherin again.
Exactly.
Oh, God.
You are. Yeah.
So did we read through Gilderoy Lockhart or after?
We
No?
definitely met
Okay.
Gilderoy Lockhart.
We meet him in the
I got
bookstore.
another
Perfect casting.
Breakaway.
Perfect casting.
Oh,
Yeah,
perfect
he's-
casting.
Kenneth
he direct-
Branagh crushes it.
Did he or did Christopher Columbus direct
Christopher
it?
Columbus.
Okay.
So I have another, now that I know the series super well, I questioned Dumbledore's motive behind why he couldn't, the most brilliant wizard our time
Couldn't
has
see
seen.
through his bullshit.
Yes.
Yeah, that's a tough one.
How did Dumbledore think that was okay?
I'm
was it
curious
just
to
like
see
as
how it
long
plays
as
out.
it's not Snape in that role? What was he desperate?
I don't know.
So
Why?
What is Gilderoy's? Well, I guess we'll talk about it later when the story's over. But I don't know what quite his purpose is yet.
Why did he even take the job? Why did he need it? It's not like he's lacking money. These books are the most expensive books on the market.
I think my thoughts on that are a spoiler, so I'll get to that
Okay.
at the end.
Does he
Okay,
think that
but
children
good.
are stupid?
No, I
Good.
think that we'll get
There's
to
got.
that.
I'm sure there's got to be a reason.
But I do think that for Dumbledore, a lot of these choices, when we get into, when we get into later books, his motivations are different than
they
what
are
we
now.
necessarily expect.
Okay.
Yeah, he's not
On what we
necessarily
know
Harry
now.
first.
It's a whole. There's other things happening here.
I get it. Charles Xavier. I get it.
Yes. So I do think that there's a point to having different Defense Against the Dark Arts teachers
Every year.
that bring different challenges with them.
And bring great
It's almost like
character
it's almost like the professors are the class. Right? Does that make sense? Like the professors that they have to deal with are their Defense Against the Dark Arts class. Because every year they learn something very valuable from the professors.
All right, I'll take
Thank you.
that. I'll take that. So Dumbledore said, we need to train our students
On bullshit
to
detecting.
deal with the most incompetent,
Assholes.
egocentric assholes. Gilderoy Lockhart. will be
And
a
there's
musical-
and
Yeah,
there's
that's
more.
perfect.
And you're
there's-
young enough for it to not completely affect your grades in your life. This is your fluff here. Okay.
Yeah.
Someone said,
fluff year.
ooh, that my flitting between Gryffindor and Slytherin is a lot like. Keep going. There it is, Jean Girl. Demurred Slytherin tendencies, but insistence on Gryffindor
Ooh.
basically make her Harry Potter.
Yeah.
Goddamn yes. And I cheat death.
Yeah, that's true.
Someone also said, I think Lockhart was about prestige and adding Defense Against the Dark Arts professor at Hogwarts to his resume.
Could be.
Would have added to that. Lee Lost the Number says Gilderoy was the only willing applicant because they keep replacing.
Did they hear the story? Like, does everyone go, what happened to
I'm
Professor?
sure the Daily Prophet, I'm sure, is like
Voldemort attached to the back of his head.
and they keep replacing after. I think it's after Quirrell.
Yeah.
There's
It's a cursed position.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
But
I'm sure
Quirrell's
that's
never mentioned again.
Yeah.
It wasn't brought up by the wizarding family like the Weasleys, which you think it kind of would be. Oh, we're sending you back to school where Voldemort was attached to your teacher's head.
Well, I also think that they, as we find later, much like, say, in current times, there is a resistance to the truth for fear of either panic or denial, many other reasons, your own power, wherever you are in the hierarchy. Sure.
Do we want more wine?
Yeah,
I
I'll
can't
take
bend
more
over
wine.
in a dress, so I was just.
I got it.
Hector, will you?
I can bend over in a dress.
Thank you.
I need to see that now.
Okay, you guys keep talking.
So I think
My best
that
beat cop here.
there is a resistance because they went through something so horrible and they don't want to believe that, and it's a rumor.
Denial.
It's
like
Harry Potter. He must be this comes up later, but it's like, oh, Harry Potter wants to be famous again, talking about Voldemort. No one wants to believe that, and it's like it's like Harry Potter backlash,
Okay. Oh, Hex. You pour a lot in his, and then I'll pour some of mine.
No, it's fine. That's okay.
Yes, please give me 20 for the column chat.
Wait, I want more points.
What is the point?
I
Can we get an
get points for
update
my
on the
shirt?
point
'Cause
system?
it's
Are
really
all the
great.
gems
Guys,
dropping
come on.
into our houses? Also, what colour would the houses be? Purple.
Red for me.
Oh.
For the House of Hector. You'd be.
25.
Black.
Maud has 10.
You can't pick black.
Yes, I can.
All right.
Oh, this is some bullshit.
Do whatever I want.
That's great. I learned something
What was your colour?
reading
Black.
this section.
Yeah.
That's appropriate. What did you pick? Gray?
Purple.
Oh, purple.
I was thinking
Perfect
purple,
mod color.
and then I was thinking red, and then I was like,
I
okay.
thought orange. Actually, can we not have red because that is Gryffindor's house? Can we go orange?
Oh no, I'm going hard red. I'm going darkest red, brightest
So burgundy.
red.
No, but
Spider-Man
I
red,
feel
Superman
like
red.
Gryffindor is more burgundy.
Yeah.
Okay, then we are
So
going
red.
I'm going primary
Ruby.
color red.
Yeah.
Ruby's in your ruby.
Red, baby. Red.
That is actually
Red baby.
I have that lipstick colour. It's called.
Yeah, I have that.
Yeah, okay. What do we call it?
Ruby Woo.
Scarlet.
Scarlet.
Here's
Mrs.
what I learned.
Scarlet.
Here was my plan since I was a kid.
Yep.
Since I saw the Harry Potter movies. I was like, I haven't read the Harry Potter books. I watched all the movies. When I'm an adult someday, if and when I have kids, if we're not all nuked to oblivion, I will sit them down
Great.
and show them a movie on a Friday night or Saturday night,
Yeah.
and then I'm going to read them that book over a month, a chapter a
Read
night.
the book first and then watch.
Nope.
Okay.
Got to do the movie because I'm putting on that John Williams score, dude. That's what's happening while I read the book.
Yeah.
You'll have a
And
John
then-
Williams shrine.
Then
I
will
will,
you
yeah.
do me this favor?
Yeah.
Will you give them the choice with the second book whether they want to read?
Nope.
What?
This is going to be a
I hate Papa Hector.
This is going to be a Papa Hector
Uncle, I
activity.
hate him.
This is going to be a Papa Hector activity for 7 months. I'm
that
going
line.
to show them the movie.
Guys, it was a Love Actually reference.
Show,
hate Uncle Jamie.
show them the
would
movie
too.
at the beginning of the month and
Bro,
over the
leave the
month.
gifts.
Read him that book. That's what I'm going to
He
do.
takes them
But
with him.
here's the problem. Here's the thing I encountered. What's so funny?
He takes the presents for the children with him when he.
That's why it's like you can go find the girl, but like leave the presents for your nieces and nephews.
I think Harry
We don't have a lot
Potter
of time
is
left.
real special, movies and books, and I would like to share that experience with my kids. That's all.
I-
But
well,
maybe you're right. Maybe I'll just let them be independent readers.
No,
I mean, they can read whatever the heck they want,
That's
but I
not-
just wanted to share Harry Potter with them.
But
But no,
Hector,
you're right. You're
they
fine.
will.
I don't
Hey,
have to do that.
Hector?
No, it's fine. It's no big
Hey
deal.
Hector, can I talk to you for a second?
Yeah, sure.
Come, let's. Okay. So I'm fine with that, and I will tell you why. My dad showed me The Wizard of Oz when I was a little girl, and I loved that. And we got the Wizard of Oz books, and he read them out loud to me when I was like 4 or 5. And I have the first one, and it's an old edition with the beautiful original illustrations, and it's gorgeous. And when it was time, there are a couple other Oz like movies and spin-offs. Obviously they're not as good as The Wizard of Oz, but I wanted to read the books. So what I'm saying is you might have kids who want to read the book
may have
first.
little
And if they
Hermiones running
want to
around.
read the book first and then the movie, I ask that after the first one you allow them that choice.
Okay.
So that you can have that conversation with them, because your kids might not like movies as much as you. I mean, they probably will, but they might not. They might not. You don't know.
You may have little Hermione.
They might want to read and then watch the book and imagine a little girl, a little Hermione, your daughter, and you've shown her the movie and read the book, and then she reads the next book and you watch the movie and do the other way. And you get to have a dialogue with your daughter
guess-
about the differences, like we're having now, but it's your kid.
You know what? You might be right.
And
You
it's
know why?
blowing your mind.
No,
She's
here's-
becoming a person in front of your eyes, Hector.
Here's why you might be right, because I thought that my kids would love me. But I think what you're describing to me right now is a scenario where, in fact, they do not. They don't want to be around me. They don't like the fun voices I do for them when I read them these
No,
characters.
they
They don't like
want-
that I put
Well, maybe
on John
because you're
Williams
picking them
music.
up and you're twisting them around and you're throwing them over the fence.
They're not gnomes, Ma. These are my children.
No, but they
they're not
want to
real.
do that with you, but maybe they want to do that with you before they watch the movie.
And maybe I'm just
Maybe
not.
that's more special to them.
Maybe I'm not good enough.
I want a real quick.
And I
Hector,
think-
how are you taking that from what I'm saying?
Because I'm adding it to what I was saying, which was the problem I encountered while reading this.
These are my children. I
they might be
control
different
them.
than you.
is
They
that
do what I say.
I read a few chapters. I was reading it aloud, and my English accents need a lot of work. And I was like, I can hear Jason Isaacs in my head, but I don't know if I can do that voice.
I time to work on it.
No, I don't. And now what Rachel's saying, she's right. I'm going to do these voices.
No, I know. They will love them because you're their dad. My dad doidn't do voices.
I know, man. And I'm going to do and I can
it's
picture
one of my favorite
I can
memories.
picture doing these voices, and I can picture my 8-year-old daughter looking at me like, "Dad, stop. Just read it." And
You haven't even had to do it yet.
Oh my God, Hector, why are you I'm just...
Hey, really quick chat.
it's be tough.
I want to
wait
tough.
to read this. Wow, Hector, what kind of lights are on stage? Gas lights?
Steven. No, Hector has
100 points to how Steven.
Hector has expressed frustration at how
points.
paper comics are giving way to movies. Not at all. I'm going to do the same thing with superhero movies. I'll show them a movie and be like, "Do you guys like this? I'll read you the comic book, and I'll do an impression of Robert Downey Jr. Iron Man when I read you this comic book."
But you won't. Okay, we have to go.
Real quick,
We have to go? No.
I want to word to chat because I just saw the tally of the points, and I just want to take a second to reiterate just how much the Harry Potter series means to me, and that I have read it.
Okay, no campaigning.
Look at this. Thrash Evans says 10 points to Hector for realizing his dreams are a lie. Yeah, that's what it is. That's what's happening.
Tamarine says, Rachel, maybe you should do. Wait, can you go back up?
I think Rachel's
really
right.
Like, I should so have more points.
Maybe you should do this. So you're saying my children will hate me.
Yeah, that's basically it.
Okay, so while
what a bummer.
we're sharing our homework and Maud stops campaigning, please put the total tally, if you guys can, in the chat. Your homework this week is to read up until the end of chapter 9. So stop at the beginning of chapter 10.
3?
This is a short
4
one.
chapters.
It's a short book. Don't forget, we're also on Goodreads. Search Alpha Book Club and come discuss with us.
I want to read
Also,
more.
if you haven't already, please tell a friend to sign up for 60 free days of Alpha by using the promo code PARCELTONGUE, which is one word, and tune in next week for some more special surprises that we have in store.
Homework, tell your Ron and your Hermione about
Yes, tell your
Parseltongue.
Ron and your
I like
Hermione.
that.
Oh. Also, if
Damn
you're
it, yeah, I
interested
want it
in
too
joining
badly.
us on the show, you can Skype in. Just let us know on Twitter at Join Team Alpha with the hashtag Alpha Book Club, and Courtney will get you all set up. Make sure you send us your book recommendations to @Nerdist, @Geek and Sundry, or @Join Team Alpha with the hashtag Alpha Book Club. We're going to be reading the rest of the Harry Potter books this year, but in between we'll have other books to read.
Yes.
Just one quick shout out again to, if you can, share or donate for that Wrinkle in Time GoFundMe to send young girls to go see that. It's
On your Twitter?
It's on my Twitter. It's a really important story. It's important for representation, and I think we should be doing this for any movie that is doing something different and being more inclusive.
Did you guys see Annihilation? I saw Annihilation.
No, I'm seeing it this weekend.
Yes.
It was weird and cool.
Can we talk about it next week
We
when
can.
I've seen it?
And
Okay.
guys, I'll definitely give my kids the options of they can read the book on their own. It's no big deal. I'll definitely do it. Rachel's right. Don't worry, guys. Don't worry.
Thank you guys so much for joining us. We'll see you next week. Bye.
That's a lot of arm wiggle.